Hello everybody, welcome back to another super interesting episode. Today we're going to be looking at a couple different methods of making tables. Now, for the sake of keeping the video short, I am not going to make fancy tables. Like, these tables are going to be very basic and pretty simple. So what we're going to do is do two different tables. One table is going to be pretty much the simplest style you can do, which is just a table that's the full node already, and you place it as a table, and that's pretty much it. Once you have it placed, you can put stuff on top of it because it is the height of one node. And then we're going to look at a second method of doing the exact same thing, but doing it as two nodes. So essentially, you would be placing the stand part here of the table, and then the tabletop on top of it. And this is too big. I have to make that smaller. So that will be the second method we'll look at, and I'll show you all the coding needed. And everything will be available in the demo file as well, which will be on my website. So, I probably should have unwrapped this, but whatever. So this is our basic table. As you will notice, it is the height of one node. So we can place items on top of this table, say a glass, or in all honesty, anything could go right on top of this table, and it'll fit at the right height. So I'm just going to go ahead and export this. And we are going to create a new folder. And we're going to save this as table_full. Oh, let me actually re-export that, because I didn't change my export settings. I have one ahead. Oh, never mind. They're not on this instance. Okay, see, I had an MTL file. I don't need an MTL. I want selection only, and I do not want materials. And the rest of that is good. Export. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this table. And let me actually call this one table. And then I'm going to duplicate once more. And we'll call this one table_top. The naming here does not matter at all. It's just so we can kind of keep track of stuff, and honestly, just from looking at it, we would know exactly what we're looking at. But okay, so this is tabletop, so let's select everything on the bottom of the table using Control+, and then X, and delete vertices. So now we have a tabletop, and we're going to do the opposite on this. Select all the top, X, vertices. Alright, so we have a table bottom, and we're actually going to put that back here. So table bottom is just the stem, tabletop is the top. Now, when we place these in the world in Minetest, we would place the bottom first, and then we would place the top. However, because of the way the engine works, what we would get, I lost my headers. How did I do that? I don't even know what I did to do that. Man, I want that back. Come back, please. Wow. How do you... I messed up my interface and I don't know how to fix it. Wow. How do you do that? Like, I have a thing here. I don't know how to get that back in my 3D space. Huh. Well, whatever. It is what it is. It's not critically important. I'll just zoom out. So anyways, when we place this in the game, this is what we would get. We would place this node on the bottom, and then we would place the tabletop, and it will appear floating in the air. It'll also be filling this node space, which would mean we wouldn't be able to place anything on top of it. So we have to use a hack. And it's actually not a hack at all. Whoa. So what we're going to do is put this tabletop so it's actually sitting below the table leg on the node underneath. And now you might be thinking, that makes absolutely no sense. Why would you do that? Everything will make sense when we look at the code, but essentially here's what we'll do. We'll place the leg, then we'll place the top. But now because the top is placed below the node, when we place the top above the stem, the top will actually match up perfectly here. And that'll be on place that'll happen. And then, once we place that node, we'll put a callback in on place and it'll check the node underneath it. And if the node underneath it is the table leg node, it'll switch these nodes to be this node. And then we will have a completed table, but it has to be placed as 2 parts. What you can do with this is extend it and make multiple different table legs and multiple different table tops. And then as long as you have a combination set up for every single one of those, you can just replace the 2 nodes with the full node that the 2 would make. Unfortunately, that's the way you have to do it if you want to have the tabletop and leg both placed separately and then merged together. So we're going to go ahead and export these both out. And we're just going to call this one table bottom. And we're going to call this one tabletop. And tabletop. All right, so we have those files. I am going to go ahead and set up the code off camera, and then I'll be right back, and we will go over the code and launch Blender up and kind of take a looky-see at things and see how everything's working. All right, so code's in place. I have the nodes existing here. So let's go ahead and take a looky-look, shall we? So we have our 3 nodes. We have the table, the tabletop, and that actually should be called table bottom, should be its description, but whatever, that's okay. So we can place the table bottom, and we can place the tabletop on top of it. Ignore the fact that these collision boxes are totally all messed up. And let's go ahead and place a full table here. So let me do this again. So we have the bottom of the table there, and we place the new one on top, and it matches up perfectly. It matches the exact same as a full table. These are supposed to be using the cobble texture, and when they break, they do. But I guess I clearly did something wrong. Probably because I didn't unwrap it at all. But it was a quick, dirty demonstration of how this works. So here's our nodes. Oh, let me demonstrate how you can't place something on top of this table. So let me take some grass here. And yeah, I can't even actually get to the top side of that table. So I may have to climb on top of something. And yeah, let me just throw some dirt here. All right, so I can get to the top of this table. Yeah, that doesn't work. That looks horrible. Also, I made these cracky, so I have to use a pickaxe to break them. No biggie. Alright, so let's take a look at the code, shall we? I put all the code in here just to make sure it worked, and then I commented it all out. So let me remove that. And let's take a look at what we're doing. And actually, let me go ahead and change this one to be table bottom. Not that it matters, but and they should also be capitalized. And yeah, this code looks like garbage right now. Collision boxes are horrible. I'm not going to fix most of this. It's just for demo purposes. Okay, so we have the tabletop, we have the full table, we have the table bottom. Where all the magic happens is in the tabletop on the after place node callback. So we place the node, and then we get the node position. You know, I don't know why we do that. That's not even used. I copied that code from something else, but I don't know why I bothered with that. I don't need that. So we get P1, which is position number 1, is what I'm calling. Or, you know what, we could call it POS1 if that's going to make it easier. And it probably will, so I'll do that. And we'll change N1 to node 1. because this is code that I am going to be sharing, so I probably should do it so it's easily identifiable. And we'll update that. So we are placing the node, and we're getting the position. Well, yeah, we're pretty much getting the position of the node below it. And then we are getting what node that is with the node 1 Minetest get node or no position number 1. So we're checking what node is in the space below the tabletop that we just placed. And then we check if what the name is. If node 1 name is new mod table bottom, then we want to do this. And we're going to set the node of the position to air. So the tabletop we just placed, we're actually deleting that tabletop and replacing it with air. And then we are setting a node on the lower position to the new mod table, which is the full table. And when you set a node, whatever node was there gets destroyed. So that is something you want to be careful with, because you could, if you're doing something crazy, you could mess stuff up. But in this case, we're just setting a node 1 space below, and we just checked what was 1 space below, so we know we're only replacing a table bottom. And then we end out the after place node, which for some reason my indenting here is messed up. I don't know, Atom gives me issues sometimes with indentation. Like, it can't decide if it wants to use tabs or spaces. There we go, that's fixed. So that's all there is to it. And we'll save that, and we'll launch Minetest back up here. And let's see what happens. We'll place a table bottom, and we'll place a tabletop on top of it. And it was seamless. It was transitionless. And there we have some grass growing right on top of that table. And we can throw dirt on top of it, and it sits perfectly on top of the table. One thing to note, though, if I place this tabletop anywhere, it will sit flush with the ground, and we'll get these Z buffering issues because it doesn't know which face to draw. So the tabletop is pretty much only usable on top of the table bottom. Something to keep in mind, because I did place it 1 node underneath. Had it been up, you'd see a brief jump. It's very short. You probably won't notice it much, but it's there. I can probably demo it. Do I have my landscaping here? Nope. So you know what? I think I'll just add optional dependency of my concrete. We should be good without it. I think I should be fine. We're gonna go ahead and I'll demo with a mod that Don Batman and myself created. Let's grab one of these and one of those. And actually I should have left that open. And yeah, let me take 10 of those. And actually that's the only thing I'll need then. I think we want this one. I don't remember. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so we have our input. And we'll just grab whatever. It doesn't matter what I grab. I'll just grab that. So I have 2 of those. So let's go ahead and place one of these. And see, it has that little top piece on it. That little top ridge. Huh. Okay, well, way to demo it if it doesn't even work. That's peculiar. What in the world? Well, that's no good. Why is that broken? Retaining wall middle concrete. Yeah, that's supposed to. Okay, that's very concerning. Let me grab these instead and let's... I don't know why that's not working. Why is that placing 1 node above it? Oh, great. Well, so long for demoing it. Now I found out that mod's broken. I have to fix it. But, yeah, if we didn't have this tabletop set in, we would notice a brief fraction of a second where this tabletop would be floating up in that next node space, and then it would drop down when it sets the new node. So that's why we set it underground. Really wish that landscaping was working so I could demo that, but something weird's going on there, so I can't. One thing you might want to do is on your table, you might want to change your drops. To be the bottom and the top, which actually I'm not 100%. I will have the code in the download. We'll have both drops in. It will work. I'll make sure it works. But offhand, I don't remember. I think you would just add a table and then add both of them. Pretty sure. That should be it. But the code will be in the download. So that should cover it. I'll go ahead and save this in lesson 4. And we're just gonna call it lesson 4. Hopefully these blend files are useful to you guys, and the OBJs and the code. I know it's, for me at least, it's a lot easier when I have something that I can actually work with that's already there, and I can look at and see how it's done, and then I can just make changes. Like, I mean, this is a super basic table, but you could take this and you could, you know, do whatever. Say you wanna, oh man, it really bugs me that I lost my, oh wait, I think you click this button. There we go. Woohoo, fixed it. We could do this, Control R. Sorry about that. It turns out, much to my chagrin, that my screen recording software had a hotkey set for Control R, which is why it wouldn't loop cut, and is also why there was that abrupt cut in the video. Because, yeah, I accidentally stopped the recording, which was not my intention. So now I need to undo what I did that you didn't see me doing and redo it. So I did not want to do that. So I'll try to figure out what I said that's now not here. Oh yeah. So let me put a face on this. So if you want to do different styles of the tables and stuff, you got the file here. You know, it's really easy. You can do a loop cut, Control R, you know, and throw that wherever you want. And then maybe you want to make the bottom kind of bigger, or you want to do something like this, where you kind of put a wider point in the center. You know, you could totally do that. And then you would just want to have the same thing on your table leg, which the easiest way of doing that is duplicating the tabletop. Shift D duplicates. And then tab into edit mode, select all of the top, and delete them away with delete vertices. And now you have a new table leg that matches that one perfectly, and you just export that in the place of this. Super simple. And if you want to join two pieces together for some reason, Control J will join them. Just felt like I should mention that, because I don't think I mentioned it previously. So that's your models, and this will be saved for you, provided in the files. And then if you wanted to do multiple, you know, tabletops and bottoms, to mix them, this code will be included. It's commented out, but that's just because it will crash if it's trying to run. Actually, I don't think it would, because it would never have a bottom, so it'd be fine. But there's no point in having it run if the nodes don't exist. What you would do is figure out some naming scheme. Now, what I thought of for something like this, where you have a tabletop and a bottom, and then a table, would be to put a trailing number behind them. So we'll do tabletop 1 and table bottom 1. And then when you put your two nodes together, if you have tabletop 1 and table bottom 1, you know, that would make your new node be table 11. I'm getting 11 by using the number for top in the tens place, the number for bottoms in the one place. So 1 and 1. Now, you would have a couple more nodes. you know, a tabletop 2 and a tabletop 3. And those you would all have, your new mod would be table 21, 31. And then your table bottoms would be bottoms 1, 2, and 3. And then you would make your new mods here for all of those different configurations using the OBJ files for them, the textures, and then obviously everything here would have its own textures. You would want to change all of your drops to be, you know, table top 1 and table bottom 1 for table 11, and so on and so forth. I think you get the idea. I don't need to keep repeating myself here with what you would have to set up, but it wouldn't be too difficult. The hardest part would just be kind of keeping everything in track, in line, so when you're placing something, you're actually placing the right things and not the wrong stuff. So hopefully that answers your question, Hajo. I really hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I honestly have no idea how to pronounce it, because I'm a native English speaker and I don't know any German. But yeah, that would be how you would create a table, or anything else. I mean, it doesn't have to just be a table, but how you would create anything that's 2 nodes that end up becoming 1 node in the end, so you can still play something directly on top of it. It's really actually very simple once you kind of get the code set up and kind of get your mind wrapped around it, which is why I think it's so helpful to have the code and mock models provided and everything, so you can really see exactly what all you need to use, what you have to have set up. It just makes things a lot easier. So hopefully that answers your questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them on the video here or the forum topic, which will be linked in the description. If you haven't done so already, you guys should totally subscribe. Buttons right there on the screen. Visit my website, request videos, watch videos, all sorts of cool stuff to do there. If you've got, you know, time to spend watching more videos instead of taking this knowledge that you just learned and making a phenomenal mod, I've got a bunch more tutorial videos linked. In fact, it's my whole playlist of tutorial videos. You can learn a whole slew of information if you go through those videos, and you can become a better modder than I am, because I spend all my time making videos instead of writing code. It's going to be my downfall one day, I tell you, man. It's going to be my downfall. Yeah. And if you haven't done so already, check out my 0415 release video. I can't honestly imagine that any of my subscribers haven't checked that out. But maybe you're not a subscriber, so you should really click that subscribe button and then watch the video.